Just get on the phone. This is one of the biggest pieces of advice that I get that I personally don't believe in because I don't do it, is like, just get on the phone.
Get on the phone.
Just get on the phone. Just get on the phone. People you know. Wish someone a happy birthday. Call up go flip through your phone, stop, and then call that person and say, I was just thinking about you. How are you?
How are you today?
The problem is 99% of people are not going to be comfortable doing that long term. So why tell them to do it? Welcome to the podcast dedicated to real estate, insurance, and building your business. Join us as we take you along our own business building journeys with additional wisdom from our network of local and national experts. Welcome to Bricks and Risk.
This episode is brought to you by Property Management Redefined. PMR is not just managing properties, we're creating partnerships that build long-term success for property owners. John and his team can be reached at manage@gopmr.com or by phone 267-753-6005. Tim.
Yes, Sean.
Who's a good client for PMR?
Property Management Redefined is looking for property owners who value three things: accountability, reliability, and a results-driven approach. They want to maximize returns, but still provide client and tenant satisfaction.
There's a lot of property managers out there.
Yes, there are.
What does PMR do really well?
Biggest thing is they're seamless and they're worry-free. So with that approach in mind, it allows the property owner to put their trust in PMR and know that the results will be there. The other thing I think a property owner is really going to value because they do it so well is that they have a local expert team, boots on the ground, managing your properties and your tenants' expectations every day so that you feel good about your investments.
We have millions of listeners out there.
Tens of millions.
If they want more information, how do they find PMR?
Right here, guys. Reach out to John Sachs and his team at Property Management Redefined. They'll take good care of you. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bricks and Risk. I'm Tim.
And I'm Tim's partner in crime, Sean Mooney. Moonee.
I've been noticing that you introduce yourself as either Tim's co-host or Tim's partner in crime. Why?
Just whatever the way the wind is blowing.
Okay, makes sense. How you been, by the way?
Good. Today was our launch of our 30-minute vlog from Atlantic City. So very excited to get that out and push that out to all of our distribution lists.
You mean Bricks and Risk, the movie?
The world premiere? Yeah.
I told someone the other day, I forget who I was talking to, and they're like, well, what did you guys do in Atlantic City? And I said, it's kind of like a mix between Shark Tank and Jackass.
That's very appropriate.
And then whoever I did tell that to started laughing pretty hard, and I said, no, seriously, it is.
Yeah, it was an adventure for the day. Totally made it up as we went, kind of made the whole thing up, as nobody probably did what we did. So we just kind of had this idea stewing and thought about, can we make it work? How would we do this? Kind of put it together. The boys at Panorama.
Shout out to Josh Meyer, Shane Foley. Thank you, gents.
The best. If you're a realtor in the game and you want A+ video for your listings or conventions that you go to, hit up the boys at Panorama. They do an amazing job. And somehow we convinced them that going to Atlantic City with us and taping for the whole day would be a good idea. They went along with it. I don't know why or how or what. But, yeah, the full video's out. We met a lot of people, talked to a lot of people.
Too many shout-outs for an episode.
Yeah, and so we've been dripping out. So if you go into our content, YouTube, Instagram, all of that, you'll see kind of bits and pieces of our day from the vlog. And then today was our full launch of the full-length premiere of the video that you can go and look, and it's pretty funny.
Awesome. All right, what are we getting into today?
Today's topic, we're going to be talking about coaching and sales and how most people that are advising people in the industries, insurance, real estate, and others, are really talking on a level that speaks to 1% of what actual producers are doing. And what I mean by that is the list of things that they're giving. Here's the blueprint of how you be successful.
Yep.
And really, that list is only for like the top 1% being capable of actually fulfilling that list. So what we're going to dive into is like, why? Why are people that are advising and coaching telling people to go this way and do this? Because you'll be such a smash hit if you follow this blueprint, when in reality, 99% of the people that are going to like sign up
and do it
are not going to follow through with it. So it's just kind of talking around the idea of, is there a better way? Is there a better way to coach? Is there a better way to consult? We've kind of touched upon this in different aspects, previous episodes that we've done, but today we're going to really kind of nail down that specifically.
Yeah, the way I actually titled this one is Stop Teaching 99% of Salespeople what only 1% of salespeople will actually accomplish. And this was a shower thought.
Yep.
I have shower thoughts from time to time, you know, getting clean, getting ready for my day. And I'm like, ooh, I need to write that one down. I don't know what, I think I was listening to something. I think I was listening to a podcast. And we'll start with this example first, because I know you and I were just talking about this today. We have an example actually from the Triple Play Invasion, Bricks and Risks, the movie. Let's start with door knocking.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm going to lay this one out for everyone so that you understand what we're talking about and where we want to go with it. So door knocking. I'm going to ask you, does door knocking work to meet people and get sales?
So shout out Troy Thompson out of Minnesota.
Shout out to Troy Thompson.
Pinnacle Insurance. I can't say the name. It's like Lahaska, Minnesota, or Chaska, or somewhere out there.
Anyway.
He just posted on Facebook his license, because if you go door knocking, you have to get licensed.
Like the municipality requires some kind of licensure in order to even door knock.
Yeah, so his whole thing for a while has been like, I don't know if he started door knocking, but he was like, I'm the door knocking insurance guy.
All right, well, yes or no? Does door knocking work to get sales?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So anyway, he just posted up. It's relevant. He just posted up. So he's like in this little niche of like, this is how I get business. So to answer your question, can it get business? Yes, absolutely can get business. You will get clients if you devote time during your week to go door knock on prospects' doors. Yes.
And if you did, let's just put it this way. If you did a lot of door knocking. So let's talk about, there are methods. There are methods to generate conversations, to figure out if you can meet good people and do they like you and can you build trust. Door knocking is a method. Now, the reason we said stop teaching 99% of salespeople what only 1% can accomplish, there'll probably be, without quoting me on the numbers, only 1 out of 100 who will actually stick with door knocking and do it for long enough and consistent enough to actually get a fair amount of business out of it.
Noah, can you go to Wikipedia and check that number to make sure it's 1 out of 100?
Correct. Want to fact check that.
All right. Continue.
So, the whole premise of this theme, of this episode, is we're kind of challenging the status quo. You can go to YouTube right now. It'd be in any kind of sales. You could be in real estate. You could be in insurance. You could be in financial planning.
Sell refrigerators, sell fax machines.
Exactly. Sell pizzas. I love saying that. You could do you could door knock you just open up a pizza shop. You can go to 500 doors in your neighborhood, knock on each door, say,
a flyer.
Here's a menu, or here's 10% off your first order. We're right down the street. We're making Neapolitan style pizza. And bring the kids. It's great. We just
I would give a free pizza. If I were door knocking, I would make it a free. You're free. Your first pizza from our shop is free.
Great idea.
I would do that.
And I bet you If you were starting a pizza shop, let's say in like a city neighborhood or a suburban town, that you could literally knock on 500 doors and probably land yourself maybe 50 to 100 new clients. 50 to 100 people, if you actually talked to them and said, look, I'm so passionate about pizza. I just opened a pizza shop. It's delicious. One pizza for free. I guarantee 20% of those doors would stop by to get their free pizza.
What's your customer acquisition cost for a pizza goer?
I don't know, $5.
I'd say more.
Okay.
I'd say probably in the 10 to 11.
Oh, you're talking about like if you're doing it another way, you're talking about your door knocking.
No, I'm talking about your customer acquisition cost.
The CAC of general getting someone to order your pizza.
Yep.
Okay, I'm good with that.
What's your cost to out the door for a pizza?
Well, yeah, $10, $15. I don't know.
No.
Oh, the cost of the pizza itself.
Yeah.
The cost of pizza, I'd say, is $5.
There you go.
Just make it nice and easy.
There you go. Plus the cost of your time. So no, I'd say pizza's probably like $3.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have to call Alex's and get them to verify.
So let's say you had to give away
Alex's.
Let's say you had to give away 100 free pizzas.
Yeah.
All right. So you give away 100 free pizzas.
It's $3 cost.
We'll go with $3.
Door.
So it's $300 to give away 100 free pizzas.
Yep.
And guess what? You met eye to eye, belly to belly, 100 people because you knocked on their door. They answered the door. You handed them something that said, come get your free pizza.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen? Probably a bunch of those people, unless you make god-awful pizza, are going to come to your shop. They're going to take you up on your free pizza. They're going to identify with you because you hustled. You knocked. Who's knocking on doors to sell pizza?
We may have just created something here.
Well, here's the thing. So it goes back to this theme. Door knocking works. You can meet people, you can see if you like each other, and you can build trust, and you can get sales, and you can make money. But the problem is when you're telling people just knock on doors to start building your business, only 1 out of 100 is actually going to be able to do it long enough, consistent enough, and successfully enough to actually realize this is a lead generation method. The other 99 will knock on 3 doors, 50, 500, and will give up. They're like, this sucks. It's raining out, or I'm sick of getting doors slammed in my face. These people are rude. Like, I'm not getting anywhere. No one wants to work with me for my pizza business. And I've knocked on 500 doors. I'm not doing that anymore.
Plus, you could videotape it, and then you would get social media content out of the door knocking. So another layer. And then if you look at the lifetime value of that client, who's the pizza goer, who's going to buy the pizza from you, you're probably talking about a $5,000 lifetime value. So like, it'd be stupid not to door knock.
Yeah.
If you're a pizza shop owner.
Here's another one. So door knocking's a little extreme, okay? But let's do another one. And let's stick with pizza shop.
Right.
Doesn't have anything to do with you, doesn't have anything to do with me, but it's relevant, okay?
Let's go.
Let's stick with pizza shop. Sean, if you just have 15 conversations a day, you will be successful as a pizza shop owner. Agree or disagree?
It would be 15 conversations would be a successful way to go about getting new business.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about 15 conversations a day, because that actually sounds more manageable. If you're having 15 conversations a day, guess what? You're not out there in the cold. It's not raining. No one's slamming a door in your face. And if anything, maybe you're talking to people in your phone already. These are people you know. These are family, friends, coworkers, neighbors, people you play softball with, people you went out to happy hour with a month ago. If you just do 15 conversations a day, you're going to make a lot of money as a pizza shop owner.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that one. I'll take this one first. The answer is yes. Have 15 conversations a day. You will realize success as a pizza shop owner, because you're like, hey, I have 1,000 contacts in my phone. I'm going to start with all them. Let's say that takes you, 2 months. You get through the 15 conversations a day, every single person in your phone, 1,000 people. Now your pizza business is moving. Then you're like, you know what? I'm going to get a phone list for my area. And that has 5,000 people on it. Now I'm going to do those 5,000. Okay, now that takes you another year. So you've talked to 1,000 people in your phone. Now you've talked to an additional 5,000 people you don't know, or at least attempted that. And you're going to have a really successful pizza business because you did all that, right?
Well, if your pizza stinks,
Even if your pizza
that may have
stinks.
something to do with it.
Because, again, pizza's subjective. So you're going to meet enough people that even if the pizza's average, they're like, I like that Sean's making pizzas. I will keep giving Sean my business because I know, I like, and I trust Sean.
It's funny you say that. There's a pizza shop around me that is Ambler Pizza.
Yeah.
And
I've never had it, but I get the menus. So at least they're hustling.
They have a phone system, CRM system.
Okay.
So that when you call, it's like, hey, Paul.
Hello. Welcome to Ambler Pizza.
No. It's a guy. It's a person.
Okay.
A gal.
Okay.
And they answer the phone. Hey, Paul. Hey, thanks for calling. What can we get you? So.
Oh, so they already got.
I know.
I see.
I know people that like deliver or order pizza from Ambler Pizza because they know
who they are. So they've pre-populated their CRM system with all these people's phone numbers, right?
Yeah.
And then, or they're just got caller ID, whatever they're doing.
Well, no, if you order from there, you take your name.
Oh, you're talking about after you order once, then they're, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're
For
like
sure.
new, but once you're in,
Yes.
they got you.
And here's another good one. I love that we're talking about pizza shops. It's one of my favorite topics because it's so relevant. I order from a place right around the corner from me, Mr. P's Pizza in Flowertown. Shout out, they're also my neighbors. And when I call and order something, not only do they typically know what I order, sometimes it'll be like, do you want another like medium plain pizza, let's call it.
Right.
But they'll say, pickup or delivery. And I'll say delivery. They're like, 7038, blah, blah, blah. They'll just give my address.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
They say, are you at
Yes.
215 Labs? And you're like, darn it,
You're
I
like,
am.
I am. But like even that, to your point, like that example, it makes you feel good. So then you're like, oh man, I kind of like these people.
Yeah.
They either save me a step or I like that they kind of like know who I am. I've ordered pizza. So even if the pizza's average, which Mr. P's is not, it's great pizza. Even if this new pizza shop opens, they're serving average or like below average pizza, but they're out there hustling. Like
They're
a certain portion of people are just going to appreciate the hustle.
right. Or it's a little different. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice little touch.
And they're like, you know what? I don't like your plain cheese pizza. I like your white pizza.
Vino Pizza, Lafayette Hill,
Shout out.
across from the Ale House. Decent pizza, decent pie. Portnoy was actually there, and he scored it horribly. But he had the wrong pizza.
Yep.
If you go there, you got to get grandma.
The grandma's awesome. I've had
Their
that.
grandma
Fantastic.
is lights out, the best grandma around.
Yep. And we're talking about pizza.
Pizza.
Yes. I'm sure the grandma's lovely, but okay. So
Pizza.
I'm going to give you another example. You
Yep.
ready? Just post 5 social media posts or reels a week. So 1 every day, Monday through Friday. If you do that, you're going to get a lot of business out of your social media account or accounts. Okay. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Why no?
Posting 5 times a week will not get you business.
No, but let's just call that the minimum. But they're telling someone to kind of go all in on social media. Let's stick with that theme. Just give me the yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Why yes that if someone teaches me to post reels or photos with, let's say, a good description, lots of tags.
Yeah.
You know, you're collaborating with people. It's strategic. It's high quality content. Why yes?
You're gaining visibility.
Yep.
More people will see you. More people will know what you do for a living. More people will get to know what neighborhoods you're doing business in, what types of clients you're working with. It tells a story. It turns a cold lead into a warm lead. So it gets you halfway there by way of business relationship. And then by doing that, cumulatively over time, that's going to compound. And eventually, by way of that, you're going to get more calls, more licks, more appointments, more deals.
Exactly. So, all right. So we just gave 3 examples here. We gave 500 door knocks we gave 15 conversations a day, and we gave 5 social media posts, reels, whatever, a week.
Yep.
Technically, all 3 of them work. But here's the problem, and here's why we're talking about this. As much as they all work, 99% of people are not going to do that either consistently enough, or they're not going to be passionate about it enough, even if the content is not that great, or even if your door knocks are not that successful, or even if your conversations, you're awful on the phone. It doesn't matter. 99% of people will not do that enough for a long enough period of time, consistently, over and over and over again, to realize success in whatever sales you're doing, pizza, real estate, insurance, whatever, to keep going in business. So the reason I wanted to talk about this, and the reason they hit me, is just I feel like there's so much advice out there. Now, again, we give advice too, but I feel like a lot of times when we give advice, we're trying to like help people understand what it takes, not give the shiny object or the silver bullet, as people call it, to being successful in sales.
With real estate, you've been doing it a long time.
Yep.
What do you, when you see people attempt to like take one of these actions and implement that in, number one, why do you think they try it and stop it? Like, what do you see with people in terms of not being able to like get a footing with doing some of these specific tactical teaching methods?
Hey everyone, this is Tim, your favorite Bricks and Risk co-host. But don't tell Sean. I hope you're enjoying this episode, and I'll get right back to it in a moment. Our audience grows through word of mouth, so if you would please take a moment of your time and give us a review on the platform you're on, that would be fantastic. Please also help spread the B&R word by sharing your favorite episode with a friend. We greatly appreciate your time and trust. Now, back to the show. I'm gonna give 2 reasons why. This is, again, my personal belief. This is what I think. Number one is it's hard work. And a lot of people don't want to do hard work just because it's just not, I don't even want to call it laziness. I just want to call it like once they get grinding, they're just like, this is too much. I don't have enough time for this. Or maybe you're a full-time parent and you just don't have enough time for it. Or you got a W-2 job and you're easing into your pizza business or real estate or insurance or whatever, financial planning. And you're just like, I don't have enough time for this. So first, hard work. It takes a lot of hard work for any of these methods in sales to work.
Yeah.
That's number one. The second reason why I think people give up on these things is rejection. Because one, it's hard work. So let's say we'll go with the door knocks. You're doing the door knocks. You're doing it for a month. You're like, man, I have knocked on 500 doors in a month. And I have had 450 doors slammed in my face.
Right.
One, you're going to be like, that was a whole month. The 50 people that opened their door, not one of them reached out to me. Not one of them called me. Not one of them emailed me. Not one of them texted me. Not one of them followed me on social media. What am I doing? So then it's the rejection as well. You're going to look at all the work, all the time you put in there. You're like, this guy or girl's full of shit. Why the hell did I listen to them about doing? I don't even like knocking on doors. Hint number one, don't assume people want to knock on doors if they don't like knocking on doors.
Good point. Could you add in a third where it's people don't have realistic expectations about how quickly that action will convert into a sale?
Yeah, I think patience is a huge part.
Well, think about it. If you go out and hit 50 doors tomorrow, how many of those people are going to buy a house in the next 90 days?
Right.
Yes.
Answer to this question.
Yes,
Okay.
hit us, Noah.
Door knocking, it says here, usually gives you 2% to 7% conversion rate.
Okay, conversion rate.
Right.
So conversion rate's one thing. It's also the amount of how many people out of 100 would actually keep going with it. That's where the 1%. But 2 to 7% is a good number, Noah. Thanks for sharing that. That gives you perspective that 93 to 98% of people will not convert when you door knock.
But here's why I say that. is I always have the marathoner's mindset.
Correct.
I should trademark that. The marathoner's mindset.
You should trademark that.
Because if I were to go in to do that, one of those steps or all three of those steps, my mindset would not be, oh, if I do these 50 door knocks today, I'm going to get a sale. When I go into that, I'm thinking like, all right, I'm going to meet 50 people. If I can get their information and bring them into my spider web, eventually over the next 2 or 3 years, that spider web is going to grow.
Correct.
And then by way of that, that will convert to new business.
Correct.
So I think having the right mindset going in with the realistic expectations about how you're going to, because if you go in like, I'm going to go in and knock on 50 doors, and you go in and you talk to 20 people, have 20 good conversations, but no one is buying a house or selling a house, you may walk away with like, that was a total failure. Right. But I'm going in like, man, I just had 20 conversations with 20 people. I got their information, phone number, email. Like, this is amazing.
Yep.
So I think going in and having the right mindset of what an actual victory is much better than thinking you're going to go in and convert and get a sale. And that probably leads to part of the problem why people are like, this doesn't work.
Yeah, most people are short-term thinking. They're not long-term thinking.
Yep.
So it plays in the marathoner's mindset. Also, like, let's go to like the 15 conversations a day. You're like, how long would it take me to have 15 conversations a day with people already in my phone? It probably wouldn't take that long. Maybe
20 minutes.
I'm going to say if you're having 15 decent conversations a day with people you know, it probably wouldn't take you longer than 2 hours. Between calling them, being on the phone with someone for like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, taking a break, you know, like it's going to be a lot of work. Okay. Yeah. And then you're doing that 5 days a week. So that's 10 hours worth of work.
That's a lot.
And again, the problem with all of this is most people who are consuming this content, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, books,
or hiring coaches,
TV shows, coaches, they're saying, just do this. A lot of times you don't even understand whether you like doing that or not. There's so many people in my industry, in real estate specific. This is one of the biggest pieces of advice that I get that I personally don't believe in because I don't do it, is like, just get on the phone.
Get on the phone.
Just get on the phone. Just get on the phone. People you know. Wish someone a happy birthday. You know, call up go flip through your phone, stop, and then call that person and say, I was just thinking about you. How are you?
How are you today?
The problem is 99% of people are not going to be comfortable doing that long term. So why tell them to do it? Maybe there's 10 or 20% who are open to it. I'll get on the phone. I don't know whether
a big deal.
I don't know whether or not I like it or not. Okay, so 1 or 2 out of 10 are open to it. But then you tell those people, just let you know, you're part of the 10, 20% that's open to this, but 99% of you will not keep doing this.
Yeah.
So what's option B? What else do you like? Do you like shaking hands? Do you like blogging? Do you like postcards? You like graphic design? You want to just send mailers? Like, what feels good to you? Do you like client events? Like, do you like just driving to people's houses, dropping off a Popeye gift, and then not even saying hi and just text them and saying, hey, I just dropped this off for you, just thinking about you? Like, what's your vibe? What's your style? And this is the problem, because there's so much advice out there. People just go get the advice. They're like, I'll just do this. And then they do it, and they do it for a month, and they're like, this sucks. I'm not doing that anymore. So they find someone else. This person's doing Popeye gifts. Let me try that. I'll order the gift boxes. I'll pack them up. They're beautiful. I do that for a month. This sucks. I don't like doing that either. Okay, this person's telling me social media is the answer. This only takes an hour a week to do. So I do that for an hour a week. And you do that for 3 months. You're like, this sucks. So here, the reason I'm going over this, and you're laughing because this is so accurate.
This sucks.
People just think there's some kind of silver bullet with sales, and it's not. It really comes back to what you just said. The marathoner's mindset, and also being open to trying things. So all these things we're talking about, be open to them, but you have to understand if you don't like it after a week or a month or 6 months, you're probably going to have a plan B or a plan C or a plan G. If you have the marathoner's mindset, then you should have ideas written down of different things you can do to grow your business, and you have to give all of them the amount of time and effort and possibly money that they deserve to figure out, is it a good fit or not good fit for your personality or your schedule or where you want to go in life and how you want to get there?
You should have core activities. You need to find 3 things that you're comfortable with. And I actually don't care what they are.
No, it doesn't matter what they are.
It doesn't matter.
It could be cold calling, door knocking, and postcards. 3 things that I don't do personally that I'd be like, cool, you're going to commit to those? That sounds great.
So you have those core activities that you would like religiously commit to them, non-negotiables.
Non-negotiable.
Every month or every week, however you want to do it.
Yeah, whatever your timeline is.
And you do it for, they say a habit or something turns into a habit in 90 days.
90 days. 90 days to start. It doesn't feel like you're really even, it's hard to do anymore because you're just so used to it.
So I would say like 6 months if it's business trend or activity you're doing.
Yep.
Where if you can get to these 3 core activities and you do them for 6 months and you commit to doing them for 6 months, it will be a business practice for you for however long you want to do it. So that would be my recommendation for anyone out there, that it doesn't matter what you're doing. It could be calls, it could be postcards, it could be texts, it could be Popeyes, whatever. Pick 3, do 3, and grow 3. So you have your core 3 activities and start with 20 people. Get it in place, refine it however you want to do it, and then build it and build it and build it and build it. And that will compound over a year or 2 into an amazing business asset for you that will generate business, and you will be like, wow, thank God I did this. Thank God I decided to do this and make this a part of my business. That's number 1. Number 2 is you should also have ancillary activities that you're trying to do on top of your core fundamental activities.
Like testing, beta testing.
Yes. And that may be hosting an event. You might host an event twice a year, right? So roll that in, try it out, get 20 people in a room, 30 people in a room. Oh, I did it. I invited 50, 15K. How could you make it better? Where can you have it? Add in those ancillary activities and try some things. Try it out. Do you like it? Was it effective? Kind of test and see. And then you're going to find 1 or 2 that will work and that you like. And then that becomes a core activity and a core thing that you're going to be doing throughout the year.
Yeah.
And those 2, the core and the ancillary, will build your business.
Those are some great actionable steps, great advice. I would say for me too, and I said this on an episode recently, are you more the hunter type or are you more the farmer type? So rather than have someone do like a personality test or whatever, if you just level with someone and just say, here's what a hunter is. A hunter is short-term thinking. Door knocking's more hunting style. Aggressive phone calls is more hunting style.
I disagree. If you're, like I said before, if you're door knocking, you can just be planting seeds, getting names, getting numbers, and then it's if you have the right mindset, it can be that situation where you're not going out to hunt the deal. It's like you're sowing seeds with prospects to get their information, to get them in your CRM, and then you drip on them. So
you're right. Aware. So now that's 2 separate things. The hunting would be the actual knocking on the door. Knocking on the door means you're just like, I'm going to put like nothing but grinding work energy into this. And if I meet 20 great people, I'm going to throw them all into my contacts. Then I can farm. So I think a great way is to understand what kind of personality type are you to get started. Getting started is the number 1 thing to understand about yourself, to know what kind of personality style are you for sales. And chances are you're not 100 one or the other. You're guaranteed you're not 100 one or the other. You're probably going to be 75-25, 80-20, 90-10. One versus the other. If you're like, I'll totally knock on doors in the rain. I'll totally get on the phone. I'll totally throw postcards out into oblivion.
Yeah.
I'll do all that. Then you're probably 75% more the hunting type. You're just like, that's what makes you go. You get adrenaline, serotonin. You get a rush out of doing that, and you're willing to spend the time, money, and effort to do it. If you're more like that, then you are a hunter. Now,
You're probably a Leo, too, if we're talking
signs.
signs.
Okay. Now, if I said to you, do you like going out, meeting people, collecting contact information, and then emailing or texting them or friending them on social media? Do you like that form of lead gen? And they say yes. Then you're going to be more the farmer type. And the reason you're more of a farmer, you're less aggressive. You're a little bit more strategic. You're a little bit more long-term thinking for your food, not short-term thinking for your food. And if you're a long-term thinker, you're more of a know, like, trust business model up front. You know that about yourself up front.
Yeah.
So if you know that about yourself up front, I would not invest the majority of your time in door knocking. Now, I would say try door knocking if you're curious. You're like, hey, it's not my thing, but I'll try it. Okay, go try it. You might find out that you really don't know yourself that well now, and you're like, damn, I really liked that. Or try phone calls, or try postcards. I haven't tried door knocking. Well, actually, technically, I have. I did little little flyers, door handle flyers. I did that a little bit when I was with Copper Hill. I absolutely hated it, and I was just like, cool. But I did try it. I have done cold lead generation.
Wait, is that technically door knocking if you're just leaving a hanger?
I mean, technically it is because you're going to people's doors. You're just doing it a little bit different. So that was like farmer-style door knocking.
You didn't knock the door, though.
No, I didn't. Okay, so maybe I'm not. But trying different things, as we said, is good. But I'm going to go back to the hunter versus the farmer. If some of these things are more up your alley, like you already know that about yourself, these are the three pillars. These are the ABC that you have to start committing to, have a strategy for, have it laid out to be like, I'm going to do this X amount of hours per week. One great piece of advice that I completely agree with, and this is given across all channels, doesn't matter what kind of sales you're in, doesn't matter if you're a hunter or a farmer, doesn't matter if you have a marathon mindset or not. Most people say you have to have time in your day for prospecting. And that, I feel like, is a very overlooked thing about sales in general. Because, again, like, let's say you're the hunter type, you're prospecting, let's call it 9 to 12, Monday through Friday, is going to be knocking on doors, making phone calls, sending postcards, like ads on Facebook, meta ads, whatever it is. You're just throwing things out there, wide net, just to see, like, what happens. Like, you're just crossing your fingers.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, I'm a little bit more of the farmer type, like, I'm going to do the blog posts, the video posts, the social media, the YouTube channel, the website, the content, the networking, like strategic networking, things like that, because you're a little bit more like low and slow. You're more relationship minded. You want to figure out if you even like each other. Like, if you put something out there on social media and it gets 50 likes, you're like, damn, that was pretty good. Like, I usually only get like 3 on the stuff that I do, but that was 50. It means you're onto something. There's people in your network that are digging what you're saying.
Yeah.
And if that's your strategy, then that's your prospecting.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, you should be focusing on the social media, on the networking, on the know, like, trust model. So it really comes down to, I think, stop teaching 99% of salespeople what only 1% of salespeople can accomplish. Instead of assuming, this goes out to all the coaches, the mentors, and the influencers out there. Instead of assuming that people are going to like what it is you're talking about, you should figure out a little bit more about what different people are doing and say, while I do this, there are some people that do that. And sometimes I feel like that messaging gets lost in a lot of the stuff you find on YouTube or social media because they're so adamant about their method of growing their business that this is the method. Like, go do it.
I think the best coaches out there, and I don't really know any, I've never had a coach, so
I've had a coach.
This is speaking from a place of that I'm not too familiar with. But what I would say is I think the best coach is going to be like a 50-50 coach. 50% of finding what that person enjoys and is good at, and developing a sales strategy around that. And then the other 50% is almost challenging that salesperson to do something out of their comfort zone.
Yep.
Like, I like social media. I'm really good at social media. Perfect. Have you ever tried door knocking? No. Do you like door knocking? No. Well, let's try this.
Try it.
And see. So I think that instead of a coach or a mentor telling you, you need to do X, Y, and Z, because if you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to be successful.
Yep.
That approach isn't built for like long-term gains.
Or even probably 99% of the people who won't like it.
Right. It's not
over time.
It's not tailored to this particular person. It's like, I have this sales program, and you're coming to me because you want to learn my program of how I became successful.
Correct.
Right? You almost need to reverse engineer the program to fit the person. And by having it 50% what they're good at, what they're comfortable at, and like maximizing that and marrying that with, hey, let's try a couple things that you might not have ever done or been exposed to or comfortable with. And let's see if we can find some of those things and tie the two together. And I think that if a coach did that, you're going to find gains that are way more valuable than the coach that's telling you, you need to do X, Y, and Z.
So I love that. That's great advice. So I do mentoring and coaching. I did it at Copper Hill. I do it now with my network at Real. I also do it with agents who are not at Real.
Yeah.
I do it with business people who aren't in real estate. I have friends that just ask me for advice and say, can you help me with this?
Yeah.
So I do mentor and coach. Here's another.
How did they get past your deadbolt?
I don't have a deadbolt.
Oh.
I have a screen door. Remember? Come on in for a cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
So here's one thing that instead of like hunter farmers, one thing I like to figure out right away, what kind of person are you? What kind of salesperson are you?
Inbound, outbound.
Here's another great question I ask, because I think if you're a good coach, you're very good at asking questions. You're trying to understand the person rather than you do this, you do that. That's a little bit more mentoring. You ask them, what's your main goal here? Like, what is there an income goal? Is there a lifestyle goal? Is there a family goal? Is there just like a sense of accomplishment? You just don't want to work for anyone anymore and you want to feel free. What's the main goal here? Once you understand what their goal is, a lot of times you're going to find most of it is not money. Most people would say, I want to be rich. Like, if I've asked so many people in real estate, what's your main goal here with this? Most people will not say, I want to make a lot of money. That's what most people don't say. A lot of people say, I don't want to work for anyone anymore. I want to work for myself, and I want to have freedom and flexibility. I probably hear that a lot more. And here's the reality with that. If you want to get good at real estate, let's say, or even making pieces, you're not going to have a whole lot of freedom and flexibility early on.
Yeah.
You might not even have freedom and flexibility 10 years into it. Depends what you want to do. Depends where you want to go once you get going. But I will tell you that if you understand how to get the freedom and flexibility that works for you, whether you're single or you with your family with 8 kids, once you understand how to make ends meet and get whatever you're trying to get out of this thing, if you understand that early on, then you will have a better sense of when you will feel free, when you will feel like no one's going to tell you how you're going to run the rest of your career because you did it the right way. You understood what you wanted. Someone gave you good advice, and now you're executing on that. And maybe you need an accountability partner. Maybe you need a coach. Someone's going to check in with you for the first 5 years. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You're like, I need you to call me once a week, and I need you to pin me down for an hour and tell me what I'm doing wrong, or that I'm not doing enough, or that I suck. Some people need that to motivate them. Other people are like, hey, I need you once a month to tell me that I'm doing a great job.
Yeah.
I told you what I did the last 4 weeks, and I'm just like, great job. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
What else can I help you with? I need some more ideas. Okay, I've done these 3 pillars. Tim, give me a 4th. Give me an 8th pillar. What am I not doing that I could try or that I could, pile on top, compounded on top of my sales techniques that I can grow this thing even more?
Yeah.
I already feel free.
Get me more of them.
And again, that happens too. So the lesson here is whether you're the person learning, the person who's looking for information, or whether you're the person teaching, telling people how to grow their business, keep in mind that a certain thing that you believe in or a certain thing that you think you might want to do is not for everyone. So it's better to ask questions, understand who they are, what they want, and it'll go better from there.
It's never a one-size-fits-all.
Never. All right, shut this one down.
Hey, folks. Thanks for sticking with us.
I forgot the stickers.
Yeah. AC video came out today. Go check it out. We want feedback on our vlog, our day in the life of Atlantic City Triple Play Realtors Convention. We had a blast. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Shark Tank meets Jackass.
Shark Tank meets Jackass. We should have Kevin O'Leary on as a guest, and we should have Johnny Knoxville, and we'll sit at a table.
Or Steve-O.
Chop it up. Steve-O, yeah. But anyway, hit us up if you want to get in touch with the show. Email bricksandrisk@gmail.com. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the channels. You can get us. Oh, a new happening this week. We interviewed an insurance guy this week, and this was our first week on Apple as video. So
the future is now.
Which I said was going to happen.
Moonstradamus.
And I have another prediction that I will release next week.
Okay.
To let people know out there.
We got to get you the hat like the Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Karnak. The Magnificent.
Yep.
Moonak. The Outrageous. We'll make a prediction next week. But if you're on Apple and Apple is your go-to streaming service,
yep,
you now have access to our video from the show.
Which, again, most of our downloads, actually, for our podcast are Apple people, which means when you open it on Apple Podcasts now, we'll be right there.
Yeah, the default is video.
The default. Not an option you choose. It's there. You can't get away from it.
So all the interviews going forward will be a video option for you on the Apple platform.
And then last thing, if you're not on our email address already, please ask to be on our email address because we have a community event coming up on June 2nd. This will probably come out after June 2nd, so you won't know exactly. But we do usually 2 main events a year: masterminding, networking, small business, panel, breakfast, lunch. Just really good events where you're learning, networking, and enjoying time with Moonak, the Outrageous.
Cosme's Deli.
Yeah, shout out to Mike, Cosme's Deli.
Mike, we love you. A great supporter of the show.
Yep.
And food provided by Mike at Cosme's. So if you like food, you might want to come to one of these events.
That's all we have for this one, folks. Thank you for tuning in again to another episode of Bricks and Risk. See you next week. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Bricks and Risk. Our goal is that you walk away with 1 or 2 valuable nuggets, and we greatly appreciate you sharing your time with us today. You can find all B&R episodes on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcast content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing.